This episode of Hak5 is brought to you by Domaincom.
Hello, welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
It's your weekly dose of Technolust.
Welcome to the last episode all about DefCon.
Wait a second, it's also the first episode all about Season 17.
What?
Yay!
No way!
I know, trivia
Is it
question.
already Season 17?
In Hex.
Wait,
So,
we do 26 episodes per season.
oh yeah,
like
that's right.
for a TV
We're
show.
weird. Don't ask.
It's a horrible idea.
Yeah, I know, right?
Him.
We actually forgot yesterday.
Standard!
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Last week was the first episode, we just realized.
Yes, it was. So welcome to Season 17. This week we have some pretty interesting stuff having to do with this.
Oh yeah, that's
which is super
awesome.
cool.
Have you used the magic powers?
Didn't bring this on the plane with me.
Why?
Because it looks kind of like a bomb.
No, you're allowed to bring lipos. Just hanging freely.
just dangle in there. I don't think they would like that. But this is really cool. We have a interview about this.
DC 801 are awesome, and they put together some fantastic geekery that you guys are going to love.
And some super cool automation, home automation hacks that you can apparently do. And I also talked to a guy about buying stuff online anonymously. So
that should be fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's cut right to it.
So I'm here with Chris Littleberry from Knowledge Consulting Group, and he's been having a lot of fun with home automation. I love home automation. I've been really getting into things like the colored light bulbs and the automated locks and things like that. So I really wanted to find out from you, are these kind of things vulnerable? And if so, is there any way to defend against them?
So they are.
No!
Yeah, it happens. So a lot of them, a lot of like the newer light bulbs, they don't have, they haven't developed a lot of security in them yet.
Yeah.
They promise that with like the newer firmwares and whatnot, but still there's a lot of hacks out there for them. The Belkin Wemos actually have some really bad ones published. But
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard those are kind of vulnerable.
Yeah, so
slightly.
it's best to block all IPv6 from getting out from your router, and try to lock down your network as best as possible.
So if I have these colored light bulbs in my household, which I do, and they're wireless, they're Wi-Fi enabled, how do I protect myself from somebody getting in and getting my things? Is it IPv6 blocking that?
The best thing to do is protect your network first.
Okay.
That's first and foremost. So use strong encryption, use a crazy long passphrase, and don't give it out to anybody, and disable WPS and the basic stuff. So
now, what about with the Wi-Fi locks, the ones that you can put on your front door and your garage and things like that?
So those are bad.
Somebody asked me, "Oh, you really want one of these?" And I was like, "No."
I actually had a guy come and try to sell me one here the other day, just door to door. He's like, "We're doing your neighbors, and we want to, let's put one in for you." And I was like, "Let me tell you why that's a bad idea." So last year at Black Hat, they had somebody came out and actually did a demo where they did a replay attack against it, and you don't have to break the encryption. You just do a replay attack against the Z-Wave, and you can just unlock the front door.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. So and people are doing these all over the place because they can show your friends, hey, check out on my phone. I can see a picture of my front door and watch. I can unlock it, lock it, and so it's everywhere.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't buy one of those.
No.
I'm okay with the lights.
But I actually came up with a system where it doesn't prevent that attack, but it'll detect that attack.
Ooh.
So it's purely RF based, so it can't really be jammed, and so.
Dude, I love RF.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it uses a Doppler system to determine if something is outside, outside of the house, and then how long it's being transmitted for and that sort of thing. And then everything else is on the wire, so then it can trip the regular part of your security system, or send
and then
an
it just
email
sends
or
you a message, or however your security system just happens to be set up, it'll take it from there.
Yep.
Ooh, that's fun stuff. Now, how am I gonna protect myself physically from anything in my home?
So
anybody getting in?
Yeah,
I know I could do low-tech stuff, like leave the lights on and leave at different times of day.
Part of the talk is I came up with a smart timer system that pulls down sunrise and sunset times from Weather Underground's API.
Oh yeah.
And then blocks off a randomization window around those, and then certain things happen kind of in certain times in there, but it's different every day. And then there's other random things where maybe one day this light will turn on for a while, or maybe it won't, that sort of thing. So it's always changing.
So what tech are you using for this?
So I'm using LifeX bulbs. Okay. I'm using Philips Hue, and then I'm using unfortunately the Wemo systems as well. Because with the Wemo switches, you can actually hook it up so you can turn on and off your exterior lights and stuff. So
yeah,
you can have them come on somewhere around sunset and have them turn off somewhere around sunrise. So
that sounds so awesome. I can't wait to do this in my household. Ooh,
it's fun.
Fun stuff. Now, you also mentioned in your talk some information about Raspberry Pis and soldering fun times.
Yes. So the whole system I'm doing, it uses 3 Pis so far. I can put
3
more.
Pis?
3 Pis, yeah.
What do you need 3 Pis for?
I don't know, because I can.
Yes, you can.
The main one I have runs it runs a front end, so it's just a Flask front end, and then a couple services I wrote for the different light bulbs, and then the Wemo system. Ooh. And then I have another one running a database server, and then another one doing some voice recognition in my living room that's kind of a work in progress. But
oh, that's awesome.
But I was lucky enough my place has Ethernet everywhere, so everything's hardwired. I don't have to worry about, yeah, it's fantastic. So,
no wiring needed.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been really fun.
So how do you make this, okay, you mentioned something about like making fireworks happen?
Yes, so part of the thing is I want to be able to do some sort of like physical defense. So if somebody actually does break in, something to just either scare somebody off, just have it set it apart other than just, an alarm going off and then, oh gee, we need to just smash and grab and, get what we can. So yeah, I have, so like one of the Pis has a 12 volts, like a door popper for cars.
Oh.
And so I have one of those set up so that it'll knock over an air tank upstairs. So like as soon as something goes off, like there'll be a thud upstairs. And then I have another one where I got a good buddy of mine that's big into model rocketry. And so they have...
where's this going?
Yeah, so they have, the way that they ignite those is that they have like these long, power leads that go to them, and then these little strips of wires with like a little thin piece of wire and then like some sparkler material on the end of it.
Did you have to solder all this stuff together? Or?
Yeah, he actually makes them by like the dozens. Like he'll just make a big batch, and so he gave me a couple of them. So you take one of those and you tape it up to a set of like black cats, so just some fireworks, and put them in something that's hopefully not flammable. And so you have your Pi, and then just pull a pin high on the Pi, then have that hit a MOSFET, connect to like a little 12-volt battery somewhere, and it'll crank it off, and suddenly you have really loud fireworks inside your house like Home Alone. So
that's awesome. Have you run into any kind of problems when you were setting up all this stuff?
Yeah, I'm a terrible coder, so
me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like
That's okay. We're learning.
Any of my friends that see this, they're going to be sitting at home going, "He's terrible." So yeah, there's been a bunch of debugging, and it's I'm using a couple of different techs.
Awesome.
Just bringing kind of everything under one roof has been a little challenging, but I mean, using it all on the Pis has just been fantastic. Python everywhere for the most part, and the Pis.
Which is kind of a pain in the butt to code.
See, I love Python. Like it's, I got a buddy of mine that's huge into Ruby, and and one of the services that I wrote, the API is in Ruby, so I had to write one of the services in Ruby, which.
Oh.
Yeah, but everything else is in Python, and it's just fantastic.
Awesome.
And the Pis, they don't draw any power. Like it's nothing. So the whole system, I have 3 Pis, and I mean, you could scale it down to just one. But I mean, it's not drawing any power. It stays up all the time, and it's a very robust system for next to nothing. So.
Well, where can our viewers find out more about this?
So I'm not really active on Twitter, but I guess I should be. My Twitter handle is lowercase b, all one word. B, just like the number B. So no underscore, no nothing, just lowercase b.
Cool.
And I'm also I'm going to have most of the code I've written is going to be pushed up to GitHub.
Awesome.
So the smart cron system and a bunch of other stuff's all going to be open source.
Yay.
So after the talk, it's all going to be up there. So check it out.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris. It was
nice
great to chat with you.
And I don't fit your van.
It doesn't matter if you're a fan of free candy or OpenSky or Tetra or Logic Link or a Turkey, or if the open source encryption software has been made by the government the whole time, or obfuscated, or a frame, or if a packet hits a pocket on a socket, on a port, or free mustaches. If you have a conspiracy theory, you need to snag a domain name and web hosting fast. Boom, up and running. You need a website. A website needs a domain, and you can get those over at domain.com. Then get this, domain.com, they get a very quick domain discovery system and a very easy checkout process. And you know what that means? Boom, up and running. I don't know where this is going. Did you know the first female pilots were called aviatrix? Whoa! The guys over at domain.com, huge fans of Hak5. And I've told you time and time again, guys, domain.com is awesome because they're affordable, they're reliable, they're easy to use, they're super fun, but mainly because they're a fun place to do business. They're active on social media. You can tweet them at domain.com and see why. It's just, they're fun guys. Boom, up and running. They're so much fun to do business with. These guys are zany. These guys are fun and crazy, and they love Hak5, and they want to hook you up, so that's why they came out with a very easy to remember coupon code for Hak5 viewers like you. It's called HAK5, and it spells Hak5, and with it at domain.com's checkout, you get an extra 15% off. Whoa! And when you think domain names, think domain.com. Is that right, Bear? Yeah, see, Bear agrees.
It is now time for the trivia question of the week. Last week's trivia question was, what object takes the longest orbital path around the sun in our solar system? And the answer is Sedna, which is basically a mini planet, kind of like Pluto. So it takes a basic rotation of about 12,050 Earth years. Now this week's trivia question is, which scientist's notebook is still too radioactive to handle? That's crazy. You can answer that question over at hak5.org/trivia for your chance to win some awesome Hak5 swag.
Ukias, welcome to the Free Candy Van.
Thank you.
Awesome. DC801 is doing some ridiculous, awesome stuff here at DefCon. What is this?
So this is our DC801 party badge. It's the badge that gets you into our party. We're a guaranteed spot in our party, and it's also to help fund the party.
Okay, so so people that aren't familiar with DefCon parties, this is kind of a tradition, right? You know, you guys being a DC group, right? 801's out of I forget the NPA. Where is that?
It's Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. So you want to have an awesome party in the hotel or off-site, and so to make it special, instead of just having like a challenge coin or some other token, what is this, like a Pip-Boy? I've heard several things. So I'm supposed to wear this on my wrist, and now I can just like, you know, I feel like, I don't know, somebody from one of those new hacking video games where you walk around with your iPhone stealing money out of people's ATMs.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the Pip-Boy, because that was actually part of our inspiration. We're thinking up ideas to come with it, to create this. I mean, our first official DEF CON party was last year, and we made another badge that was just standard kind of DEF CON style lanyard badge. We want to do something different this year. Yeah, different than anything else that we've seen and that we've heard done. So we figured something cool, retro with a VFD, you know, strapped to your wrist, Pep-Boy style would actually be, I mean, we haven't seen anyone do it before.
I mean, you know, it's a hacker wearable, and everyone loves a strap-on. So if you can tell me about the VFD, what is that? Because this is a really unique display.
So, I mean, for those, I mean, VFDs are basically the next version of the Nixie tube, and this one is I can't remember the model number, but it's a Noritake. They're a Japanese company, and they still make them. It's a 16:2 character display. Okay. And I mean, they're super popular on all the old VCRs and stuff. They're military grade hardware. So I mean, it's just fancy. It's like a vacuum tube.
Really? Because I've heard these are slightly fragile.
Yeah, you don't want to drop them. They can break fairly easily.
Okay, and so the rest of this is like, we've got like leather straps here, we've got like a little LiPo pack, 3D printed case. What's the board on here? What's the processor and stuff here?
So the case actually isn't 3D printed first. It's just machined HDPE. We have a bud that has a CNC router, and so we.
Yeah, subtraction is so much faster.
He stayed up till, I don't know, 5 in the morning machining those the day before we flew out to Black Hat.
So this is what I love hearing about these things, because it makes me actually in a weird way feel not so bad, like cramming to get everything done before DEF CON, and it's totally the hacker way.
Yeah.
When did you guys assemble these? How did you guys assemble these?
A couple of us did all the main large through pinhole component soldering. the day before we flew out to Black Hat. The machining for the case and the laser cut things were also done the day before DefCon or Black Hat also. We thought we had learned from last year, same last minute stuff last year, but we didn't. So still last minute this year. We like to call it the curse of the transistor, our local hackerspace.
Sure.
We always end up doing everything last minute, everything from our free classes to...
There's something about the fire that it just lights under you to get it done.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, we got to get this done.
And so the code on here, because this is running an ARM processor, and so what can I run on here? Like, what are the capabilities of the hardware? I see we've got USB here. Is that serial?
Yeah, it's so I'm not the most familiar with the hardware. That's our homeboy Davino, the guy that designed it. He does it for work, and he did us a big favor and designed this for free. And then our other bud Decaf, he's the main guy that does all the programming for it. They're both not here at DEF CON right now, but yeah, it's a 32-bit ARM microprocessor, just like you said. We were originally going to go with an STM-based ARM microprocessor, but last minute we changed for this one, primarily because it has a hardware bootloader on it. So it's impossible to brick it without actually destroying the chip. So you just plug it into your computer, you hold down the middle button, and then reset it, and it boots up and shows up on your computer as a hardware mass storage device.
Oh, cool.
So you just drag and drop the firmware right there like that, and then if you want to, you can just copy the firmware back off that way too. So we did that because we figured it'd be the easiest way to support the hardware in the long run. To actually, we designed the badge. We want it to be different in the sense that you can use it after the con for real life everyday stuff. So that we went with that route for the chip, just so that people can flash it easier.
I love that. And when you're here at the con, I mean, that just does make it so much easier. I just love this as a piece, as a a keepsake of the con. This is something of beauty, and you should be really proud of it. And this is just one of those awesome things that I'd love to highlight here that makes DEF CON unique. So Ukiah, and also to Decaf and Davino and the Transistor Hackerspace out of Salt Lake City and DC801. Thank you guys for just keeping DEF CON awesome with this.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's all the people that support us that make it so that we can actually do our crazy hacker dreams and make it a party for everybody else. So,
cool. So everybody can check it out at github.com/thetransistor, right?
Yep, that's where all the code is posted. And then if you want to do if you want to support the Transistor DC801 and then DC801 Labs, which is the hackerspace that 801 works out. There's just the transistor.com and then 801labs. I think it's .org or .com, I can't remember. But we will be we're planning on doing another badge next year for the same party.
I was about to ask. I can't wait for next year. You got to one up this one.
And then we also do T-shirts every year too. So if you don't want to do a badge, you can always do a T-shirt.
Well, thank you so much, Ukiah, for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
You know what's really fun?
What?
Whenever you order things online and then people find out that you order things online.
No.
Or it gets shared. Yeah,
no,
not
no,
cool at all.
no,
Not
cool
fun. I like things like Tor.
I love Tor.
So this is Metacortex, and he is from DC801. You gave a talk in the 101 track.
Yes.
Yay, 101 for beginners.
101.
Woo!
Love it.
So all about how to order things online, how to keep yourself secure, how to use Tor and things of that nature, and your Bitcoins. Woot!
Yes, Bitcoins.
So give me the 101.
Hey, 101. All right, so basically we start with Tor itself. You stay totally anonymous, theoretically totally anonymous.
Free software to download, anybody can get it.
Yep, you can run it on Linux, OS X, Windows, all of that's supported, and it connects you to the Tor network that bounces you around through a series of anonymization, series of tubes. Yes, exactly. She's got it, everybody. That makes you theoretically totally anonymous, barring any O days.
But then as soon as I get on there and I order something from some nondescript website with my credit card, they know who I am.
You don't order it with your credit card.
So what do I do?
You order it with Bitcoin. Ah, we love Bitcoin.
So what are Bitcoins?
Bitcoins are the internet cryptocurrency of our generation.
How do I use Bitcoins?
You mine them, or you can pay normal money to get Bitcoin money.
But they're crazy expensive.
They're crazy expensive. Well, then get crazy expensive money to buy mining equipment.
Though it would probably end up paying you out more if you just mine your own.
Depending on the hardware,
yes.
Actually.
Lots and lots of GPUs and fun times.
So many processing cycles.
Well, is Bitcoin my only option, or can I use other cryptocurrencies?
Not a whole lot. People have standardized on Bitcoin, where it's across the board.
That one's the most readily available for sites to accept.
Exactly. Not many people accept Dogecoin or even DefCoin.
Okay.
But it's mainly Bitcoin.
So moving on from Tor and Bitcoin, are there any other like totally anonymized software options that I have available to me for ordering online?
You can use I2P. Not a whole lot of people actually use I2P.
What's I2P?
I2P is another, I don't want to say Tor knockoff, but it's another way to do Tor.
Does it work like Tor?
It works a little differently like Tor, whereas everybody a part of the network are actually forwarding nodes.
Oh.
And so it just dynamically routes through everybody a part of the network.
Okay.
It causes a lot of issues, like as soon as you close out, you need to gracefully shut it down, or else you kick a whole bunch of people off the network and they all time out.
Oops.
It's just like usability's atrocious. Yeah, exactly. A great trolling attempt. Connect multiple times and drop. I love it. I love it.
So I know that you also gave some information in your talk that's a little bit less tech advice, but more so just logistical, obvious advice.
Yeah, of course.
What kind of information that you can give me as far as that goes?
So if you were to buy something potentially malicious or questionable, don't send it to your house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Same goes for y'all out there if you're doing online shows and you want to have a wedding and have things sent to your place. Do it to a PO box or a fake address.
Exactly. So some of the things we covered is, like, if you were to go and get a PO box, you have to give your real information, your real stuff. So one of the techniques that we like to use is you do that, go onto Tor, buy a fake ID, burn the box, and then get a new one at a different location with that fake ID.
Oh, wow.
And then you can actually send stuff to that new box under the assumed identity. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of spycraft in this talk, kind of stuff.
Okay, is there anything else that I should know when I'm ordering strange things on Tor?
Some of the big things is once you get the package, don't just like open up your box at the PO box and open it right away.
Oh,
You're in plain view of everybody that can see you.
There could be security cameras.
It's incriminating evidence. Go home and open it. You close the windows. Another good thing you can do is if somebody thinks that you're going to receive something potentially causing issues, walk up to the PO box, open it, see if it's there, close it, and walk away. Verify that it is actually there and present, so anybody staking out the location, you're not walking out with anything.
Right.
And then after, come back a week, 2 weeks later, because no one's going to sit around for 2 weeks.
Right.
And then you're free and clear.
That's very smart. Yeah, that was going to be my next question was, but I'm a person. You can tell who I am.
Yeah.
Walk into the PO box place.
Exactly.
That's very useful information, but of course, we aren't telling anybody to buy illegal things.
Do not buy illegal things, depending on your government regulation.
Oh, good point.
Some things here are illegal, where they may not be in other countries.
That's true.
So,
Great. Well, thank you so much for letting me know all the interesting details.
No problem. I love it.
I can't wait to go shopping.
Yes. Me either.
Metacortex, it was great to speak with you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your DefCon, and let us know if you need anything. Where can people contact you if they want more information?
At Metacortex.
On Twitter?
On Twitter.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
That just about wraps up this week's episode of Hak5. Of course, this is where we will have fancy announcements for when we are ready to announce them at the end of the show, which is a fun place to put those. But we don't have those quite yet, so stay tuned for when they are announced. But until then, we would like to remind you that hak5.org/follow is where you can follow all the ways to the social media.
And you can look at hkshop.com to buy all the cool things.
Yeah, and you can support us directly with that, and we absolutely appreciate all of that because it makes the thing go.
And email us feedback@hak5.org because we read those sometimes.
No, we read those always. We just don't reply to every single one. It's like open Gmail, JJJJJJJJ. By the way, Gmail shortcuts hit question mark. With all of that said, I'm Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
Trust your Technolust.
Bye. Schwiggity swag swag.
thank you guys for the thing. Let's try that again. Sorry, Paul.
Don't do that. Swig.
I don't even know.
What's going on?